Good afternoon. Alex Ansary here. It is February 10th, 2017. Here to talk to you about the recent declaration by Oregon Governor Kate Brown with regards to Donald Trump's travel ban and the Trump resistance, the political Trump resistance that she is forming. So, to preface, I want people to understand that even though I don't support Donald Trump, the people that are opposed to what Trump is doing, they're highly suspicious. It seems that they're controlling both sides of the top levels of the left and right. This is nothing new. This is nothing new. So, for those that don't understand or don't know, there is such a thing as an independent, someone that doesn't have a dog in the race. When I look at what Kate is doing, I'm asking myself, does she know what she's doing? Is this really a genuine resistance? Or is there like a larger agenda to bring Oregon down to a certain level of poverty? Now, I think states should be free to a certain degree of dependence on the federal government. Okay? So there could be a blessing out of the whole thing. Time will tell. But I really don't think this is random. You know, I have my suspicions about this governor. So even though she's making a stand against Trump and she's building a coalition, what is this going to lead to? Is this going to lead to a breakup of the U.S.? On one level, people are going to say, oh, that's great. Oh, that's great. But what if there's another agenda? What if there is another agenda? Now, with the decisions of not only the governor, but the decisions of the mayor of Portland, Ted Wheeler, the question is Portland going to see a false flag where they blame a Muslim and then create a federal police state in Portland in response to what the protesters are doing? What I can tell you is that this is not a new concern. The concern goes back to Portland. It goes back at least to 2002 when Portland was called Little Beirut. Portland saw massive demonstrations to the tunes of thousands of people when Bush was still the president and when Cheney made his visit in 2002. Of course, this is after the invasion and attack on Afghanistan after 9/11, but before the invasion and attack on Iraq of 2003. So Portland has a history early on of being one of those cities that has been in opposition to the neocon. It's also shown itself to be a city that laid down, not completely, there were some protests, but as far as concerns about the federal government, concerns about military actions, bombings in foreign countries, much of that minimized with the formerly anti-war movement, now turned Obama support base, even to this day. Even to this day. So the intolerant left, as I call them, they don't really have compassion for immigrants. They have a political agenda. Some activists have their own political agendas. People like Jesse Sponberg and others operating out of self-interest. By the way, that video is down of the Grant Chisholm knockout incident because of a copyright claim filed by the person that shot that. So I just thought I would let you know why that video has been taken down, which includes the expose of Jesse Sponberg lying about being the guy that knocked out Grant for his own self-interest. That's low. Claiming that you were involved in it is bad enough, or being involved in it, falsely claiming you are the one that delivered the knockout blow when video evidence shows, Jesse Sponberg, you missed wildly with an unidentified person back and to the left. Back and to the left. Coming in with a knockout blow that dropped Grant Chisholm. So, you have social justice warriors that'll act like a mob, and they will take away someone's right to travel, blocking traffic, which Jesse Sponberg has done, and promoting violence against those labeled Nazis. And being a racist and being a Nazi is not necessarily one and the same. I mean, for example, what if you're a black racist? What if you're an Hispanic Nazi? Racist. What if you're a Jewish racist? What if you're a white racist, but you happen to be Jewish? Are you still a Nazi? Who knows? Some would say yes. The thing is the social justice warriors, the controlled left, the intolerant left, they don't really care about minorities. And they don't really care about immigrants. And Oregon has never, as a state, has never really taken like a firm stance against the war. There's just been this non-ending like worship of the veterans that have served in Afghanistan and Iraq. And I've said for years, and I don't care what they think about that, you've done fucking wrong by invading an innocent country that was not involved in 9/11 and killing innocent people. And we are talking about Afghanistan. Afghans were not behind 9/11, but millions have died because the excuse is made because of that day. Right? And all these preemptive wars, and we're not done yet. So Donald Trump, whether you like hearing this or not, represents the war machine. And there is no real opposition to Donald Trump's war machine, as there really was no opposition to Obama's war machine, nor Bush's. It's all a show. So the question is, Kate Brown, what's her agenda? What is her agenda? Oregonians are going to suffer to a certain degree from the pullout of federal funding, and this was after the initial announcement that Oregon was left off the list, priority list of infrastructure improvements. Now, for those that don't know, Portland is at, I don't know how you can prepare for it without having billions of dollars, but Portland's overdue for a massive earthquake. And an earthquake above 9, well, it could be something that demolishes Portland in irreparable ways without billions of dollars. For example, the bridges going down, the water system, pipes breaking. You know, they rely on Bull Run. If there's a volcanic explosion in Mount Hood, major issue with regards to getting water. Of course, it would be interesting to see an urban survival documentary in Portland, Oregon, if something like that ever did happen and someone would happen to have cameras or multiple cameras charged up, kind of recording people filtering water from the sky or perhaps the ground, disinfecting, in order for them to stay alive. It'd be interesting to see. The question is, what is the real reason for Kate Brown's decisions? A loss of federal funding is a reduction of the state's budget, one said. Whether or not that's true, maybe you can let me know down in the comment section. 37 to 39%. So a lot of people dependent in Oregon. Would it include being cut off from food assistance or some of the more critical aspects of government assistance, being that, you know, food stamps being at the base and then other things following that? That would be health insurance and housing, but food comes first. And food very much is a part of health, but in a more direct way. You don't eat, you starve. And there are federal funds that are required for food stamps, and Oregon is one of the leading welfare states because of a lack of really good jobs. Of course, we've seen growth in Portland. We've also seen homelessness increase because of the growth in Portland. So as one demographic benefits from the real estate growth in Portland and certain types of industries and jobs and businesses, not to mention marijuana being legal now in Portland, and so the green rush, literally 2.0, after Portland was already popular, the people on the bottom get squeezed even more and pushed even deeper into their poverty when they have to go out and figure out how they can get more money to give to the government, an increase in property taxes because of the popularity of Portland and because of them, you know, considering even more big government programs to not even address or fix the homeless problem, but to act like they're responding to it, but to really be poverty pimps and make money off the homeless. They create bigger government and they propose taxing the middle and upper classes. Some real class warfare shit to provide for that homeless housing caused by a housing crisis caused by policies of the city of Portland to intend to grow the city more than it can within its means, to where you have such an extreme have and have not reality. Social zombie hipster apocalypse in real time. In real time. So it seems that Kate Brown is doing this for her own agenda. Other Oregonians are going to hurt. It's going to be interesting, in conclusion here, to see what the response will be from the federal government if they cut the funding and how the state of Oregon survives, as it still is a state that is increasing in its population in a very unsustainable way. In the event of a major disaster, Portland would already be screwed in a lot of ways. But the possibility, I just want to echo this again, of a false flag in Portland, false flag terror attack, seems to be on the table. We have Top Off 4, by the way, for those, I'm going to re-upload the video, that have never seen it. The current mayor of Portland was involved in an emergency response drill where in the drill the governor dies. And literally Homeland Security takes over security in Portland and takes over at the state level. They have a continuity of government plan at the state level to deal with the dirty bomb Al-Qaeda attack. Now, when a comic strip by the name of Operation Blackjack in 2009 and 10, I re-uploaded an MP3, an old show from Clyde Lewis in 2009. I'm not a fan of all of his stuff. He's actually got involved in a lot of disinformation. But with regards to one of his more interesting podcasts, even though there was quite a bit of fear-mongering about it happening that year in 2009, there wasn't a date attributed with the comic strip online called Operation Blackjack. But it shows multiple cities being targeted by terrorists, and then America going into martial law, and the term they were using at that time, North American Union. I don't think this term, North American Union, is behind us. I think we can still see something like that. We can also see a breakup of the U.S., and they all could be related in some way. Maybe not happening all at once on the timeline, but plans for these events, mergers or disintegrations that can be remerged and brought under other governments' control. That would be my concern about the breakup of the U.S. Some of the regions coming under the influence of certain nation states not based in the United States. And then I asked myself the question, why has the former governor, who's now resigned, he was corrupt. Oregon has a history of corruption for those that don't know. Why did he take money from the Chinese? Why did he go to China? Why did foreign council members like Adams go to China? Is it really just about climate change? Or is there something else going on with the communist Chinese whining and dining, the so-called elected of Portland, Oregon, bringing us to Ted Wheeler, the current mayor, who has active participated in Top Off 4, the martial law drill of 2007. Of course, they were doing Vigilant Shield 08 or 07 up in aerospace, which was simulating a response to an attack by China or Russia in conjunction with Navy drills out off the coast of Oregon. But Top Off 4 being an anti-terror drill based in Portland, Oregon, related specifically on the ground to a terror attack. Really, I thought that they just used that as an excuse to practice shutting down the city, and the drill was really part of a larger drill regarding geopolitics or America really being under attack from real enemies. Not cave dwellers, but real enemies. Something on a larger level. Would Donald Trump punish Portland and the Pacific Northwest? Is there a plan for there to be an attack allowed in the future that would then trigger America's response? But like with Pearl Harbor and like with 9/11, is there an event coming to Portland that the federal government is either planning or will plan? And those are my concerns, as well as the real role that Kate Brown is playing in this script of the federal government pulling funds away from Oregon and allowing Oregon's roads and bridges and freeways and other infrastructure related issues by design to collapse. Is that the plan? I'm Alex Ansary, leaving you with this question in your mind's eye. Let me know your thoughts down below. Signing off for this day of February 10th in the year 2017.